This has been just a terrific year for vast swaths of the market, but not so much the safe, consistent pharmaceutical industry. Now, with the exception of Eli Lilly, which has some stunning new drugs, the rest of Big Pharma has absolutely been hammered. You got J&J and Merck down 2%. You got Bristol Myers off 15%. Pfizer stock has plunged more than 30% over the same period. Now, some of that's because these are textbook defensive stocks that Wall Street just doesn't like whenever people are more confident about the economy. And people feeling more confident is the story of 2023, isn't it? Especially the last few months. Some of it's because these are dividend stocks, so their yields are much less attractive in a world of relatively high interest rates. Who needs a 4.6% yield from risky Pfizer when you can get a 5.5% from risk-free Treasury bills? And some of it comes down to the fact that we're now 15 months out from the 2024 election. Presidential elections, they're almost always ugly for Big Pharma as drug prices become a political football. They're an easy target in an election year. Look at what happened after the 2020 election. Last year, the Biden administration passed the so-called Inflation Reduction Act, which was really a grab bag of climate investments and various other Democratic priorities. But there's also a health care component here that no one's talking about. Specifically, the IRA gives Medicare the authority to negotiate directly with drug companies in order to lower the cost of expensive brand name medications. They also got new ways to cap drug prices, including forced rebates for drugs that see price increases in excess of inflation. That's never been done. Seems like a slam dunk politically, though, even as it's terrifying for pharmaceutical companies and, yes, you, the shareholder. Now, you haven't heard a lot about these provisions, in part because this kind of policy takes forever to implement. It kind of was snuck in there, frankly. The government won't even start identifying which drugs they're going to target until 2026. But I'm bringing this up now because Big Pharma has started fighting back and pushing back against these new pricing rules in court. I think they were surprised, too. They were ready. In June, Merck sued the Department of Health and Human Services and the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, calling the drug pricing provisions in the IRA unconstitutional, a sham, and get this, tantamount to extortion. Less than 2 weeks later, Bristol Myers filed its own lawsuit against the same authorities using very similar language. A couple of days after that, multiple pharma industry groups filed their own lawsuit against HHS and the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Seems like some sort of staggered rollout, doesn't it? Now, if we saw this kind of legal challenge 20 or 30 years ago, I wouldn't take it seriously. Precedent is very much on the government side. But the federal judiciary is a lot more conservative on economic issues than it used to be, and that goes double for the Supreme Court. Still an uphill battle. But what matters is that no one seems to be thinking about any of this. I think that's a huge mistake for anyone who owns pharma stocks. Now, Big Pharma's going all out here. Each lawsuit was filed in a different jurisdiction. Merck's case is in D.C. Bristol Myers did it in New Jersey. The big industry group suit is in the Western District of Texas. And they're all pursuing different strategies. Merck and Bristol Myers claim the drug pricing rules in the IRA violate the First and Fifth Amendment. Now, I don't think it's a free speech issue, although they've got some kind of telling arguments about the way that they've been kind of not allowed to talk about it. So the First Amendment, though, still feels like a stretch. But the Fifth Amendment requires the government to pay just compensation. It's called a taking. And when it takes private property for public use, Merck and Bristol Myers say they're being coerced into negotiating lower prices. They get hit with a big excise tax if they won't play ball. So from their perspective, they're basically being robbed by the government without fair compensation. For some, it might feel like a stretch, but I think they might get a win with a sympathetic judge. Meanwhile, the big pharma industry group lawsuit takes a different tack entirely, claiming the IRA's drug pricing rules violate the Eighth Amendment. Now, we know that's just cruel and unusual punishment, but you know what? It also prohibits excessive fines. The way the IRA works, pharma companies don't comply with the mandated price negotiations. They're going to have to pay insanely high taxes on the sales of each drug where they're in violation. They probably won't even put out the drugs if that's the case. I mean, we're talking about a 65% tax rate on sales, not profits. I can understand why they keep using the word extortion, but that doesn't mean it's unconstitutional. In short, the pharmaceutical industry is mounting an all-out legal assault on the IRA's drug pricing provisions, and no one is even covering this, even though it could destroy the drug company's profitability. Lately, more companies have gotten in on the action. Last month, the Japanese drug maker called Astellas filed suit in the Eastern District of Illinois. J&J's Janssen pharmaceutical subsidiary filed its own lawsuit in New Jersey, similar to the one that Bristol Myers did. Even the Chamber of Commerce got in on the action with the lawsuit in Ohio, and they sure should. This is a big business issue. Again, precedent's not really on their side. side, but each additional case makes it more likely that some judge somewhere will side with the drug industry. So can these legal challenges boost the downtrodden pharma stocks if they win? Hey, listen, like Cho and Lai's verdict on the French Revolution, I say it's too soon to tell. We know Merck's just asked for summary judgment. That's basically a request for the judge to rule in a case without a full trial. I don't think they're going to win that one. But according to Citi's pharma analyst, Andrew Baum, we could get a ruling as early as the first quarter of next year. The timing's important because Medicare is supposed to send the industry offers of maximum fair prices by Feb 1. Even if Merck can't win in court, they can at least try to delay the rollout of what are essentially price controls. At best, if they're lucky, I think they could get a preliminary injunction where the judge would just block the new pricing rules while a full trial takes place. But when you look at the entire pharma industry, I don't see these lawsuits as an attempt to fight the IRA's drug pricing provisions in court. While they love to get the whole thing thrown out as unconstitutional, these companies are run by smart people with smart lawyers. They know the chances of a clean legal victory at this point, after this law is passed, slim. To me, this wave of lawsuits looks like a negotiating strategy. For every favorable ruling, even if it's purely procedural, the Biden administration will be under more pressure to back off. Maybe they pause the rollout until the litigation is over. Maybe they decide to be less aggressive in pushing for lower prices. If they can kick the can down to 2025, they might end up negotiating with a very different White House, which is, I think, one of their major tactics. That's what they really want. So what do you do with all this yourself? I think it's way too soon to get your hopes up. Remember, the whole thing's an uphill battle for the pharmaceutical industry, but, and this is a very big but, there's now a chance that these lawsuits could offer the drug companies some real upside. For once, litigation could be a tailwind for Big Pharma, not a headwind from plaintiffs who attacked them. So here's the bottom line. For the moment, most Big Pharma stocks are out of style on the Wall Street fashion show, other than Cramer fave Eli Lilly. And I think they'll stay unloved unless the economy slows down dramatically. But keep an eye on these lawsuits, because if any of them wind up favoring the drug companies, the whole group is going to catch fire. Definitely worth keeping an eye on if that happens. Mad Money's back after the break.
Coming up, as the United Auto Workers move to vote, will Ford and GM be stuck in neutral? To the ballot box as we go. Next.